And now, The Bonfire with Big J. Okerson and Dan Soder.
Welcome to The Bonfire, Sirius XM Faction Talk 103. I'm Dan Soder. That's Big J. Okerson. We're live in Nashville. The crew back in New York. Lou and Jacob in studio. Black Lou at home. Our Black King, the Black Tiger, Lewis Johnson. We're live in studio with the mayor of Nashville, the king of Nashville, the Duke of Old Hickory, Nate Bargatze.
Hello, welcome to Nashville. You want to move here? Come through me,
dude. The welcome committee.
I'm wearing y'all down.
You didn't wear me down, buddy. I'm already in.
Yeah, Jay's already here.
I'm Zillowing places.
I feel like a college recruit where he's like, "You could do this. You want to see our facilities?" And
I'll show you the facilities. Yeah,
nice.
These nice open roads.
Here's
driving
the thing.
home.
Here's the thing I will tell you though, and it's very possible to probably make this happen. It's do you want it? Is it Louis J. Gomez comes down then, so we get the Legion of Skanks here. Now, you don't want Louis J. Gomez walking around your neighborhood with his shirt off.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
We're definitely get kicked out.
They have to have a meeting with Nate. They go, "We love you bringing people to Nashville."
The governor calls me. I'm like, "Well, how did you get in on this?" Lewis is that big of a problem. The governor gets involved.
Nate, he just kicks his boots up on a desk. Nate, we got a snake problem. A rattlesnake problem.
Dude, Louis just coming in and walking around with his shirt off, walking sport around the neighborhood. Yeah. So funny.
Dude, almost R.I.P. You told me about Sport.
Yeah. Sport is getting put down, I think, next week.
I think he wanted to spill the news, but Young spoiled it.
Yeah, I'm going to spoil it.
Lewis was like, don't say anything.
Spoiler alert.
We're going to do a funeral for Sport.
Yeah.
It's actually sad because I said I didn't Sport was kind of in and out. He hasn't been around for a long time.
Yeah.
He's been living with Lewis's ex. But it is funny to put a timeline on that. Like, I remember when Sport was a problem for everybody.
I remember when Sport was a problem for young baby James because he was a baby and he was like, "Sport's got to go in the other room," and you just hear Sport be like, "Rawr, rawr, rawr," at the apartment on 21st.
He would be in his apartment. You would go over there, and it was a night. I mean, it was like you're like, "Oh, that's Lewis's dog."
He would tell you
like
to stop.
It made sense.
Yeah, he would tell you to stop moving.
Yeah,
he goes, "Stop moving." He'll stop trying to bite you, and you're like, "I want to hang out with my friend."
Yeah.
Oh my, yeah, exactly. It's like you want to play video games, and you're like, "Yeah." The problem is, dude, as soon as my fingers move, like your dog starts trying to eat my hands. He's like, "Oh, Sport." He's very well trained. Sport.
My friend, the worst I've ever seen it was my buddy Joey's house. You'd go over there growing up, and he had this dog Louie that would just aggressively bark at you the whole time you were there, and all they would do is go, "Louie, shut up!" And he would just sit next to you and go, "Hush, hush," and just bark at you while you're sitting on the couch watching Monday Night Football, and you're like, "I don't feel comfortable." He's like, "Hush, hush." He's just sitting there. You're like, Dude, and he was a big dog, so you're like, "I don't like this at all."
When we were all at my house, you may have been there for this. Nate was definitely there. We were all at my house, barbecue or something, or just hanging out for something. A bunch of us, and Lewis had like "Hey guys, walk over with me. I got to go. Like, let's Sport out for a minute." And he opened the door, and he goes, "I'm gonna let me go." And Sport, busts through the line and just, goes off leash, down to the main road.
Yeah.
Like, you hear the right, the right down the hill, it's like Elliott Avenue.
Where you can look over and see the highway.
Yeah. So he starts holding us, and he goes, "Sport, Sport, Sport," and he goes, "I'll be fine." He comes back, and then he starts coming back. He goes, "Here, do you remember this?" He goes, "Here he goes. Sport, good boy. Sport." And Sport he never changes speed. He just comes and zips right by us and goes completely the other way, all the way down the street. Sport! God damn it! Hang on, guys. He'll come back. He always comes back.
I think we were out there forever because we had to wait for Sport. We had to go look for Sport.
He just left.
He just left.
He goes, "Dude, I'm a great dog owner." I go, "Then how come every time you have a chance, this dog tries to escape you?"
He would always tell us, he's like, "I had to go walk it." And then you're like, but he doesn't go home. Lewis was the most not home person I've ever seen. And to have a dog, and you're like, your dog has been locked up, I think, for a long time.
He's fine?
He's fine. Sport's fine. I walked him earlier Tuesday.
He also lived at a hotel for a little bit. Could you imagine how
Sport
shitty that was?
Oh, really?
Living next to Sport in a hotel.
Well, it was great what he said.
I don't know, Lewis or Sport. If you had to pick, if you go, one of these people are going to own this apartment, do you want it to be Lewis or Sport?
Well, in the hotel, he said every time Sport would piss and shit enough where it smelled bad, he couldn't bring chicks back, he would just move to another room. He'd go, "This room smells like shit."
Why was he in the hotel?
He just decided to live in a hotel. But it was like a junkie hotel.
Yeah. It was Lewis's writer's phase. That's when he was a writer. That's when he was a poet.
That's my Dylan era.
We talked when I had to go help him move that day. I think we talked about it, but it's my favorite. just the I don't maybe we didn't talk about it on here, but he had to go when he was getting moved and he was getting evicted out of that apartment, and so they wouldn't let him go up.
Yeah.
So it was like the worst because we have to go in because we're the only ones allowed to go in. He can't. And he's just out front, just smoking cigarettes, like screaming at everybody. We're yelling through the window. Lewis, do you want this table?
Is that the one where the cops had to get called because he told the guy he was going to kill him?
Yeah, that was the one by Bobby. That was the apartment by Bobby Kelly.
He said
he put a knife down.
He goes, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to stab you with a knife. He goes, yeah. And then what happened? He goes, why'd you get kicked out? He's like, well, there was a knife, like out.
He showed him the knife.
Yeah, he showed him the knife and then put it down.
And he goes, I'm going to kill you with this knife.
He
put it down and left, and he goes, my roommate's freaking out about something.
Yeah. I got to go home. I don't know what his problem
is.
Yeah,
he goes, cops are at my house. He goes, I don't know what this is all about.
Yeah.
I go, it's probably something to do with the knife threat.
Yeah.
He's like, oh.
Man, I wonder how long, because sport's old.
15, 16 now, yeah.
He is an old 15-year-old Jack Russell Terrier. I wonder at what age. I bet James had some good years with sport, where sport was just like,
well,
trying to run
down.
and being like,
for sure. Well, Lewis just said he just saved his sport's blind.
Yeah.
He can only walk left. So he said this week, he's like, I thought he was going to die here at the house. He told me today, he said he was doing his thing where he just keeps circling left, but it keeps, you keep going left. It's just making like, you're moving somewhere. Yeah. You're just going in a circle all the time. And he goes, he started going towards, Lewis lives in a split level. So the living room's got like the railing over like where the front door is down there, 5 feet, whatever. Yeah. And he just goes, sport was just turning and not looking. And then he just goes completely through the bars of the railing. He had to dive, like grab his legs. He's like, the only thing to say, because sport's not going to brace you. Can't even see it. He would have just fallen and been like, oh, we're flying now. And then just
sports
collapsed on the ground.
Sport's thriving in his Mr. Magoo phase.
But I didn't see sport from wily Jack Russell till I went with to Lewis's ex's, or as like Beatrice with him one day to pick up food or something. It was a couple months ago. We went over to his new place. And we saw Beatrice, and I didn't believe it was sport. He shrunk.
Oh, wow.
And his hair is all like wiry and like patchy. Yeah. And like he's just got milky eye. And I was like, who's this freak? He's like, that's sport. That's sport. That's, hang on. He's going, oh, there he goes. And that's sport. He's like, and sport looks at he's like,
two dogs?
he barked. He's like writing kill me and kibble on the ground. Kill me.
Dude, my grandma's dog went completely blind and deaf, and she just had it in the house. And he was just like walking up, and he would touch you, and you'd be like, oh, it touched me. And he'd be like, and he'd just go and piss in the kitchen, and she'd be like, oh, buddy's going in the kitchen. It's like, put him down.
Yeah.
Kill him.
The Family Guy did a great thing on that when he was like, when they did the thing about Brian being an old dog that's a burden to everybody. Yeah. He's walking over by the food. He's like, he puts his head in the bowl and he's like, just lays there.
Those
the milky eye.
Milky eyes.
Once Dawkins gets a milky eye, I'm taking it out back.
Do it myself.
Yeah, because I'm going to think like,
hey, guess what? You can do that here in Nashville.
Yeah. Put your own dog down?
Yeah.
Nice.
In the yard. You have a big enough yard.
I'm just going to tell Katie, when Myrtle gets like old, when she becomes like a 14-year-old dog, we're just going to go for a walk, and I'm going to come back and have her taxidermied.
Yeah.
Just have her stuff and be like, she's great.
She'd come back with a new puppy.
And go, we traded it in.
Yeah.
Traded in. Kelly Blue Book on Myrtle was very low.
Yeah.
Dude, you've heard this, but I think this is one of the craziest things ever for sure. Our friend Michelle, I think you may have met Michelle before, Nate, but she's the one that did the musical that me and Lewis were in, the musical, and she's become a very good friend of ours. Yeah. Isabella works with her and stuff, but she always has somewhere between 4 and 6 dogs, and they're all little tiny ones that just bark constantly. They don't go outside. They're just like pee pad. She loves them, and she will take such good care of them, like grooming and everything, but they're just like indoor dogs completely. And then one of them died, and she wanted to get it taxidermied, and so she just put it in the freezer in a bag.
No.
Oh.
And the housekeeper, like this, can you imagine going? You go, oh, my wrist hurts. Let me get a little ice from my wrist.
Oh my God, she's Captain America-ing her dog.
And then she sent off to get taxidermy. Never picked it up. It's just standing somewhere.
It's a delivery service.
now
they come get the dog.
He
goes like an Uber. Like
you gotta bring it here.
Yeah, he goes, we'll bring it here. He goes, he's gonna fall out by the time I get there. Do you have like a truck or something?
Would you tell? Laura was telling me earlier the gerbil story.
Yeah,
guinea pig story. That's wild.
I don't know. I'm gonna tell it tonight at the storytelling show, and then This will be in my next hour. I just don't, because Harper's still young, so I don't want her.
You can't tell her yet.
I can't tell her, and she believes. But we had she wanted a guinea pig for after.
She's listening right now.
Yeah,
she's like, turn it up.
Right,
she's in the back seat. Just turn that up.
Turn that up a little bit.
Sorry, my dad's on Sirius. Can you pump up the volume?
Crank it up.
Excuse me. No disrespect, but
Uber by herself,
specifically
looking at her phone.
talking about me.
She looks up. Can you turn that up?
in an Uber by herself.
She goes, "What do you got that on? 103?
Yeah.
Turn that up. My dad's promoting."
Yeah. So she wanted I said if you get A's in third grade or something. I was like, she wanted a guinea pig. So I was like, I will get you a guinea pig. Well, she does, because third grade's easy. And,
he goes, to no credit of her own.
Yeah.
It was a cruise course.
Honestly, it's the last grade I had great success with.
Yeah. Third grade is like,
you have barely any work and you do well.
Fourth grade, they added in multiplication and everything.
Laura didn't want to get the guinea pig, but I was like, we already said we'd do it. So we go get it. It's just like cute, go to Petco or whatever, and whatever it is, like PetSmart, and then buy it, and whatever, it's like $25. And so we get it home, blah blah, whatever. Typical kid, says they want it, not always not doing what they're supposed to be doing.
Responsibility.
So we were like, you got to shut the doors, the room that it's in, because our dog Holly will I was like, our dog doesn't know that you got straight A's, so she wants to eat him, and so you got to lock these doors, whatever. So then we're gone. Laura's with me at Memphis at some trip, and then my mom's watching my daughter. And we get a call. We hear just wailing and crying in the back. So someone left that door open. The dog got in there, and fur is everywhere on the floor, and we don't know where the guinea pig's at.
So Holly got after it.
Holly got after it, but we don't know. Did she swallow it? Did she?
Wound
is it in the walls?
She save it for later.
I always had a big fear of it. I'll just be like a month later, he's gonna come out of the wall and be like, and you're like, you're still alive, man.
He thought you could kill me.
Yeah.
I healed myself. He's got perfect bandages on. He goes, you thought I wasn't going to come through this.
I had to re-break my leg and set it.
Or one day you just hear he goes, hey, dog.
Yeah.
The dog looks up and he goes, guess who?
Big scar down its face.
Stone Cold stuns him.
You should have made sure I was finished.
Should have finished the job, mutt.
Yeah. Gives him the rock bottom.
She's back! Oh, my God!
So we don't know where it's at. And so we're like, she's...
Was there just fur or was there blood?
I think there was just fur. I think there's a little blood, but it's fur. We weren't home.
Okay.
So we're like, and there's a little bit of us being like, all right, if she doesn't, you're not that mad as a parent. I know you don't want an animal to die, but you're definitely like,
yeah, it takes a little.
We did it.
Food budget loosens up.
Yeah. You're like, let's not
fell apart.
Yeah, that didn't work out. So then my sister comes over, and we've had a lot of animal problems with our family. Where we've had a bird fly out. We had a tarantula at one point froze. He broke in our house, just froze to death. We had fish that jumped out of the aquarium and killed themselves.
All right, dude, that is so funny when you see that.
Dude, Carla's, my ex's mom used to have. She got 3 of these gigantic, couple $100 fish a piece. And
Cichlids?
I forget, but it kept it in a tank that was for a young person to have some goldfish in their house.
Yeah.
And this thing, it took up it was just constantly going boom, boom, banging on either side of this thing. And then every time she'd buy one, within a month of having it, you'd come home one day and it was just dead on the floor. It was such a big fish, it would bust out at the top and rather just die.
When I lived with Amir and he started doing really well selling weed, he got into fish tanks and he bought a 120-gallon fish tank and he started buying weird shit to put in it. And he bought an eel, a freshwater eel, and he was like, "Yo, look how cool this eel is." He's like, "Yo, this eel is awesome." And it would just swim around. And one day, on a Friday morning, I was hungover and I went to the kitchen and I got something to drink and I stepped on something and I was like, "What is it?" And it was just the dead eel on the ground like that. And it jumped out. It was I can't live it. I was like, "Oh fuck!"
It's a monster,
dude. I touched it with my bare foot and I was like,
"Oh!" It wasn't shocked you like it was one that shocked. It's like you touch it, you're like, "Whoa, what was that?"
Ooh, I'm awake.
Ooh, well, don't need the coffee.
What was that? A little. So we.
The story gets better.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm very excited about this.
So my sister comes over there. My sister Abigail's the one that loves pets and all this stuff. And we had, our dog Annie that died. my parents had a cat, and Abigail kept our dog. She has a dog and our dog over there with the cat. Well, she comes home one day, and the cat's murdered. I mean, it's been murdered. And Abigail was like, I think it's your dog, Annie. And I was like, Annie's like, Annie's like
a murderer.
Making a murderer. His nephew.
Yeah.
That's Annie. Where you're like,
she's like,
Annie
I don't
was
know.
there, but she did not do. Like, she doesn't know what's going on.
They go, Annie, did you kill a thing?
Yeah,
I don't know.
No, I don't know.
When's WrestleMania?
Yeah. Am I gonna be out of here in time to watch WrestleMania?
Annie,
I don't know,
No,
man.
I don't
killed a
know.
cat.
Yeah.
He just killed a cat. He goes, okay.
All right.
You were there though, right? I don't know.
I don't know.
Yes.
Wolf.
Woof. I'm the dog.
Wolf.
So Abigail always deals with the dog, the pet stuff in our family.
Did Annie kill that cat?
I still to this day I don't think Annie's didn't have that in her.
Yeah.
But I mean she definitely was around it.
It's just-
but she didn't.
She knows what happened, but she wasn't talking.
I mean she is straight up
Dude,
that
I
nephew.
like it.
That nephew that you're like, yeah, but you can't be there, man. And you should have realized that. But then you feel bad that they're in jail, but then you're like, but you also can't be there for that.
Yeah.
It's just also a fun thing to know, like family drama to bring up next time Abigail's just hanging out. You go, I mean, Nate's dog murdered that cat. She goes, I know.
Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
Let's say
Get
that
it
for
started.
years.
I go, let me tell you something.
yeah, dude.
Just running around free like OJ.
Yeah.
Posting on Twitter. Not a care in the world.
So so Abigail comes over. So Harper's bawling, crying, and we think it's just over. And then I get a text from Abigail, and she's like, "You owe me $180." And I'm like, "Well, what for?" And she goes, "Well, I'll tell you." And then she'll tell you later. So she calls me later. So she went and bought a new guinea pig, and she's like, "Well, I'm gonna just try to She's trying to find one that matched,
Yeah. Looking at pictures?
Goldfish, that works unbelievable.
This is great.
But guinea pigs are pretty tough
Yeah.
to match. So
Yeah,
she
they have
can't-
patterns.
Yeah, she can't find one that matches. So she goes and finds one that's some science exhibit that has no fur. So it's
Different
hairless.
color and no fur.
Completely different color and no fur.
And also, aren't the appendages are much larger and different?
I mean, there's nothing that resembles that this should be the same animal. And it's cost $108. We bought ours out of a bucket on the interstate.
$25.
So we'd take flowers and a guinea pig, just throw them in.
Yeah.
You go-
Are those mandarin oranges?
Yeah,
Throw those
yeah.
in also.
Hey, I'll take some of those.
Also, can I have some Topps baseball cards? That's pretty good. It's a good stand.
So
Is that
she-
fun dip?
This place is great.
I got everything.
You guys really got everything.
I'll do a
Yeah.
swirly straw.
Yeah.
And let me get 5 of the $5 games.
Does this cabinet Mortal Kombat work?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll throw a couple quarters in.
Yeah. So she brings us home. She makes up this big lie that they had to go get her shaved, the guinea pig shaved, because the vet fixed her.
They think like
But
the dog nipped her or
the dog
something,
nipped her and
right?
stuff,
Yeah.
so they got her shaved, and then Harper's like, oh, she's just so emotional that she's going with my straight A third grader,
Yeah.
just falling for all this.
Yeah, looks like logic
This
ain't one of
big
those
giant
days.
lie going on
Yeah.
now. And then so we go, well, we shaved the fur, so Abigail's like, so the fur's never going to come back. They said that, and Harper's like, okay. And then cut to later on, Harper sees the poop. The poop is completely different. And it's obvious they
It's like
poop a lot.
gigantic, right?
Gigantic, and it's like, so then she's like, why is the poop different? And then Abigail's like, well, we gave her medicine, so the poop's different forever now. Like, everything's
It's
forever.
gotta be forever?
Everything's forever, so we just got
The
this
hair
guinea
won't
pig.
grow back?
The hair won't grow back. I don't think Harper really likes it now, but it's like, she's got to go with it.
And you go,
know?
Harper, by the way, don't make fun of people who can't grow their hair back.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
sort of a thing.
You're
It's sort of a thing.
You're going to get
Yeah.
your dad slapped.
Yeah.
You're-
We made her watch the Oscars and said, this is what will happen.
Exactly.
Do not make fun of
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah.
You see that? Now you liked your guinea pig, right? Now if her husband,
Hey, guinea pig.
Yeah.
Nice haircut.
Yeah.
Yeah, dang, dude.
yeah,
So, I mean, that's basically the gist, which is, I'm glad I'm kind of saying it now because I got to say it tonight. And I haven't really told it in a long time. But it's just all this big lie. And so
But,
now it's
she
still
lied,
going
but
on.
you said like Harper. She said Harper. Laura was telling me that Harper was just like so accepting of it and just like yay, and just immediately with this new monster they have in the house, she's like, I love it forever.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
she's totally in love
have
with it.
you found?
Oh, so that's the other part of the story.
So we did. That's the part I didn't know. In the joke, I was.
Marcus is like,
This is all.
I gotta hear
This is all. Can I tell you something? When I heard this story,
Yeah.
it bumped up your masculine. You're a masculine man than me,
Yeah.
but this bumped it up because
Yeah.
I react. This is for me as like a city kid growing up.
Yeah.
Exactly where I
You get the ickies?
Yeah.
I check out, and I'm like, I would probably just burn down the room.
We fed it to Harper, and
This is your mistake.
Marcus, what the fuck kind of show is this?
This is what you do. This is what you do.
It's a delicacy in Peru.
You eat your dead.
Fucking white people.
So we ended up like one day we didn't find it for like 3 or 4 days. And then there's a smell in like Laura's office, and I'm sitting in the chair in Laura's office, and I'm like, golly, what is that? And I lift up the seat, and it's in the couch, the love chair that we're sitting in. All for him.
Was it crazy looking?
No, it had the fur and stuff, but it was didn't look that bad. But so Holly took her, and I guess, and then put her and hit her and put her in there. But I mean, the smell was so bad. And so we ended up finding her, and then I had to get it, and you throw it away. You never know where to throw it. You like, do you throw it in the trash can? Is this recycling?
It could be recycling.
Trash can, right? Just outside trash can.
Was Harper in the house when you found it?
Yes.
Yes, she was. She said she had to send her. She's like, hey, why don't you go watch a movie or something real quick?
Whatever she wants. You want to go rob a bank? You want to do anything? What do you want to do? Like, just get her out of the house.
He goes, do you
go
finally
bungee jump? You
we
like
got to
bungee
hide
jumping?
a murder. We got to hide a murder from her.
He goes, hey, you want to go try some knife throwing out back? You always want to do knife throwing.
You go, Laura, go find a tiny carpet. We can roll this body up in there.
Yeah.
Tiny carpet.
We got to roll this thing up.
I threw it with other.
Just a little rug that they're rolling the body in.
First, we're going to go buy a rug, tiny rug.
Yeah. It's a bath mat. Like it's just a little bath mat that you just.
Laura and Nate are carrying it out with a hand towel.
Yeah.
Oh, hey. Oh, hey, Harper.
Dude,
you just missed it, Laura.
Yeah, and then that was.
So when you found it, did you leave the body there and go get Laura and you're like, I found.
Well, we were in the office together when we found it, and then so we were in.
Laura does the.
Yeah.
The scared.
It smelled.
Well, I thought Laura's the same as me though. I mean, if I saw that one, I'd be like, oh my god, I've touched it somehow. Like I was sitting right next to it.
You have the Ewes.
So that chair will always be that thing to me. And then if God forbid, one time ever of all the dead mice in New York I've had to deal with, which is probably 5 in my whole life in New York, which isn't terrible. It's also not great. In 5 times finding or collecting a dead mouse from a trap or something. The one time ever, I was just in. You know when you're like in an irate fight.
Yeah.
Me and Carla, my ex, were fighting, and that was the one time I just for some reason was cleaning angry, and I cleaned behind the stove. I moved the stove out, and there was a mouse there, and for some reason that one, my mind just went somewhere else. I just like scooped it into like the dustpan and threw it on my man. It's bullshit. Every other time, one of them. It was just from the poison. There was a mouse just dead in my kitchen. Yeah. And I called Kurt Metzger to come over and pick it up.
That's very funny.
Because I was like, he's like, really, you can't? I'm like, I can't.
I'm up on a chair in the table. I'm up on a chair in the kitchen.
He goes, what I'm going to come over and do is just get like 10 paper towels.
Yeah.
So you don't even feel it and just kind of scoop it. And I go, if you won't come over, I'll do that. But I'm telling you, I don't want to do it. And then when he did it, he picked it up and he goes, you see, it's not even like touching it. And I go, you still feel the heavy. You just feel the weight of dead life.
Yeah.
Dude,
we threw it away with other stuff. Like in the trash, like just so you don't feel. I don't want to carry just a bag of that out.
A bag of dead body.
It's like surrounded in McDonald's bags.
This porter that worked at the restaurant at Dos Caminos, we had a lot of mice.
What's a porter?
Like they clean overnight.
Oh.
They like make sure everything's clean for the restaurant to open the next day. And these guys didn't give a fuck. And they would do the sticky traps where the mice walk on it, and then they try to walk off, and their legs start getting ripped off, and they're like, wah! And then you'd come into a mouse just being like, end it, please end it. He would just pick the mice up by their tails and just go like boom, real quick against the wall, and then just poof, into a trash like it was nothing.
I've seen people in New York chase a mouse with their foot, like, and I'm like. Oh, do you plan on burning that shoe off your foot afterwards?
Well, now you're a dog owner. There was a whole Vice story about up in the Bronx and Brooklyn that they take terriers to go rat hunting in the city, and they'll let them loose where there's like a bunch of rats and like the projects or whatever, and these dogs will just go and fucking find them and bite them and kill them and bring the rats back to the dude.
That still would have been a better life for sport than what sport is.
Living in that heroin hotel and just having Lewis smash fucking.
The biggest thing that me and Christine both ever, for 5 straight minutes, had jaws open staring at a person who the guy was unfazed by us staring. He was unfazed by everything going on. He was walking his dog in front. This was when we were in the East Village, so we're out on our front stoop. He's walking down Fifth Street, and just over by one of the tree beds, you know what I mean? You just hear his dog, small dog, not a big dog, just dips over into that thing. You start hearing and hearing this crazy squeaking, like, and then the guy, by the way, I don't know if he was smoking a cigarette or something. He just kind of like, here he goes again. He's looking at us like every day with this dog, and then the dog flicks his head, and a dead, like guts out rat is flying up in the air and lands down right near. And then me and Christina are like, oh my God! And then the guy goes, sorry, goes, this dog every day with this. And then, in my mind, I would have judged it, but judged it as like, that's not what he should have done, but that's what I would have done. I was like, so he's going to clearly just walk away from this, right?
Yeah.
This guy pulls out like the dog shit bag and wraps it up in his hand, and then picks up the rat with like his hand, like with the bag over it, and then pulls the bag back down over it. But it's not big enough for a rat. So he wants to get on side, and this is his move. He pulls the bag over the rat mostly, and then wants to get up, so he flips it up, and you see the tail just go on the guy's head, and he just muscles it back in, then ties the bag up, walks. While he's walking towards us, we're going like we're following with our eyes mouth open, and then right in front of us, he just opens up our trash cans, and he goes, sorry, and drops it. I go, he's walked up. I never said a word. I was like, what was all of that?
You can't do that.
It's like trying to put a pillow in a pillowcase. He's like trying
He was so calm, though. He's like, another dead rat on my arm, I guess. Yeah, he's like, here we go.
He goes,
he didn't think it's shit about it. I was like, it was jarring. No way.
Throwing it in your trash. He goes, this guy's kind of cute.
Hello.
And you're like, hi,
I would have been a really sweet pet one day. Anywho.
He starts singing Ben to you. And you're like, oh, God, all right.
We had a rat problem when I first moved to Chicago when I started comedy, because it was like they just knocked down a building next to ours. And
that sends them all.
It sends them all. And they could come in. I mean, we had a door, and they would open the door. And they could push it open, and we had them. You hear
Chicago rats are
oh my God,
what's going on in here? What's going on? You guys are sleeping. What are you? Comedians?
I would hear them under the bed.
Oh,
and when
deep
I'm
dish
asleep,
pizza. What are you, a tourist?
Yeah.
And when I was asleep, I would hear it at night, and I could hear them under bed like talking. You felt like. And I would just lay there and I'd get under the covers more and just like, please don't come into bed. I didn't know. I was like 24. Like, I'm like, please don't come.
I wouldn't have known either.
Yeah. Oh, they're squeaking. They're like, one day when Laura came up to visit, she's getting ready in the bathroom, and at the time I see it run into my roommate's room. And I mean, it's bigger than a squirrel. It's a big thing. And I just shut my roommate's room, and I just never told him. And then I just didn't mention it to Laura because she would have.
And then your roommate comes home and he goes, a rat took my room.
Yeah.
He sleeps there now.
You go.
He took my room.
Hey, dude.
Whatever.
Yeah. Well, I see him the next morning on the couch. He's like, yeah, well, you let that rat in there, and he slept on the bed.
Did you take that rat's rent for the next 3 months?
Yeah.
He paid me first and last and told me to get out.
Yeah.
My third floor apartment.
Yeah.
The one in Queens that we lived in. That was one when nobody was home. If you went in the hallway bathroom, because that was a bathroom and a half. Well, if you were in the hallway bathroom, I could leave the door of the bathroom open and my bedroom door open, and it was a straight shot to look at TV.
Yeah.
So you like shit and watch TV.
Yeah.
And I remember one time I was sitting there going to the bed, and I knew we had like a mouse issue happening. I saw it a couple times. And the TV was on and everything, and I'm sitting there on the toilet, mid-going. We're not anywhere near done yet. And I see this mouse comes out. It doesn't dart, and it comes out slow, starts crawling on clothes on the floor. I mean, having a ball. And he's going to mention all I can do is I'm going, hey!
Get on out of here now. Get on here.
It didn't care.
Go on, get.
It was like, is this Nautica?
He goes, I'm gonna bite a little hole in this.
I mean, it was just.
I'm gonna bite a little hole in this.
I think it almost like laid into like a cute thing too. I'm like, ah!
Dude, you want to talk about?
I was just screaming noises to try. It wouldn't go away until I got up, and then then it darts.
A cute mouse thing. When I first lived in Hoboken, when I moved out there, we lived above this Indian restaurant, and they used to keep out bags of rice out in the thing, and we just had a mice. Like it just created a mouse problem. And heavy drinking days, it's like Monday night bringer shows barking. So I just get hammered on Mondays. And I woke up on Tuesday and you could smoke in the apartment. And I was sleeping on the futon.
Yeah.
And I woke up and I was like, lit up a cigarette. I was like, a nice cold winter Tuesday. And I had these Adidas basketball shoes. And then just a mouse popped up with his hands on the back of it. And
in the shoe.
In the shoe and like looked at me and I was like, That is cute.
Yeah.
But
And they got out and ran along the wall, and I was like, no.
When something gets away from you when you're trying to kill it too, some party is happy it got away, so you don't have to deal with it. But you're also like, well, I guess it's tomorrow's problem.
Well, the dude went from Chicago. They came over and brought traps, and then these traps they would hurt you. Like and then it's a trap, and you're like, and the sticky pad stuff. You're like, well, what's going to happen if they get on there? It's like, oh, you just got to get it out. And we had one. The trap went down. A leg.
Do you know what they do? I was with the sticky ones.
Stuck. They like eat their leg off.
Yeah, with the sticky ones,
They bleed out
because like they try to like fight their way off so bad. So they'll like you said, they'll just like Terminator 2. They'll just like rip their own leg off.
Dude, those porters would kill those. You'd come back and it's a bunch of bunch of drama kids and like alcoholic comedians, and we're cleaning out the hutch, and they're like, and their legs are gone, and they're like,
their skin's coming off like clothes behind them. They're like just muscles coming out of fur.
My CPU is a neural processor.
I had a pet mouse when I was little that I
Ew.
loved, Spotty.
Oh, you were
She
such
was
a
so
freak
cute.
kid.
And when I had mice in my first apartment in Bushwick when I
tried
was
to-
on air mattress,
tried
and
to
I would trap them in cups and release them outside.
Why?
I couldn't kill them because they were tiny little cute mice. They weren't even like
There's no such thing.
big mice.
They carry
vermin.
disease. They carry
They're
disease.
vermin.
I couldn't kill them.
We had this.
But they go tell
were
their
under
rat
my air
parents, hey, we
mattress.
found a lady that's pretty cool about
Yeah,
it.
she's into it.
We got some
Tori Amos over here.
We got some libtard lady letting us out. So let's go eat her food. We lived across the street from this field growing up. It was like undeveloped in the middle of the suburbs, and there was a bunch of field mouse in it, and my cat would go over there and just keep bringing mice over as like a present to my mom, and my mom would be like, please stop doing this, because she'd just show up and the cat would be like, wow, and it'd just be a dead body.
Merry
my mom
Christmas.
my mom would be like, Garfield, what are you doing? But my dad, I told Jay this recently, my dad lived with this alcoholic dude named, he was an alcoholic, but he lived with this dude named Jim. And Jim had this cat called TC, Tough Cat. It was just this fat tabby that was like feral and just lived outside and would kill muskrats and shit that were by the lake that were like this big. So one time I'm sleeping on my dad's couch and I just open the door and I'm like, ah! And it's just like this rat beaver looking thing dead that's like and its throat's chewed out and I'm like, does my dad owe somebody money? It looked like a mafia threat.
Someone sent him a message.
Yeah, and then Jim's like, with a Winston in the side of his mouth, he's like, fucking tough cat, and just grabs the thing and picks it up. I was like, oh, you lake people move different.
Although I'll tell you what, when you have a pet though, it is funny the thing. I mean, I've watched Christine. I have to love her. And I've watched her watch our dog eat its own shit and then make out with our dog. So I'm like, okay.
You got to stop her from eating her own shit. You know that, right?
No, we stop her, but she still gets her lips on it.
She was like slurping it up, and I realized.
Dude, there is a dog at our dog park that I have never not judged because the first time
he was right by your dog's butthole.
Dude, soft serve style. Oscar, his name's Oscar, and if you go to the Hoboken Dog Park, you know exactly this fucking mangy mutt that I'm talking about. He looks like he's half dead and he's like brown and matted and he's like, his owner looks like a ghost. She wears like long, like she's an old lady that wears like long, like almost nighty looking things.
Sure, like a sister wife.
Yeah, she's like, Oscar, no. Any dog that shits, he just walks up and he's like, one time Katie was...
Thank you, may I have another?
One time Katie was at the dog park and I was on the road and Myrtle was playing with Oscar and she was like, hey, Myrtle, we don't play with him. Come here. Just pulled her. She was
you want to be like that
you
dog?
Play with
You're
that
like,
shit-eating fucking mutt.
I fed you a hot dog once. Like you don't see the difference of any of this.
But dude, Oscar's just like the second a hot one's out, he's like, what's this?
The dog's like potato, loaf of shit.
When I walk dogs, I used to walk. I don't remember that when I walked dogs.
Veter, right?
Yeah.
Wait, really?
I did before Veter. Yeah.
You got Veter into the game?
Veter will not say that, but I'm the reason Veter has his business.
Do you remember when Veter was walking the girl who fucked Tiger Woods' dog?
Yes.
Rachel Ucatel?
Yeah.
As it broke. Gary's like, oh, I know her.
I know.
And we're like friends with Gary. We're like,
she doesn't give me any vibe.
Paparazzi would be everywhere, and there's pictures of him.
He
He's
goes,
got that dog.
Here's your dog.
Yeah. What's it like fucking Tiger?
As if you didn't need any more reasons to not miss New York for when we were in the East Village, too. That was another fucking wacky day when we were outside, and all of a sudden, I came outside actually, like, smoke a cigarette, and I was like, sometimes you see roaches just on the street and stuff, and you wouldn't think much of it. But in one time sitting out there on my step for a cigarette, I saw like 6 roaches, which is a lot. Just a lot. And I was like, what is this? I go, that's so weird. Then I went inside. Half hour later, whenever I went back outside, it was like a different world. Like people were all out of their houses to go, what is this? What the streets were, you couldn't take a step without having to like step over dead or living all over the place. Our Russian
Bob,
our Ukrainian.
Shout out to Bob, going through a lot right
Yeah,
now.
Bob going through a lot
We're
for
with
sure.
We're team
Bob,
Ukrainian.
Team, we're flying the blue and yellow.
You guys want
Bob.
to donate money to Bob?
Dude, Bob comes out of the building. He's like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know what it is.
There must be sale at Roach store.
I'm telling you, everywhere he goes, I got to figure something out. And he was like looking, he goes, are they they're in the trash can? And he opens up our trash can lid, and then I couldn't even guess from where. 2 roaches just land on his neck. He's like, like he's freaking out. I'm like, ah! No one knew what to do. I go, and we found out later they were like, yeah, they bombed a building. They're gonna like more gut and redo.
Yeah.
So they bombed the building. So all the roaches went into like the underground.
That's what
and
happens.
Popped back up through the sewers, and it was just. There was at one point on our street when they were dead. All of them, all the ones that didn't get away. I'd say there was 4,000 dead roaches on our street, just all over the sidewalks.
They were those water bugs, those big
Yeah,
water
yeah,
bugs.
Dude, it was so.
That's
but him just
crazy.
going, goes, even because he was like our tough guy. You know what I mean? You're almost like, if there's a dead rat in my place, I'm like, hey, Bob, can you come pick this up with your bare hands and get it out of here?
He's
Like,
lived
he
under
would.
the threat of Putin his whole life.
He's been waiting for this to pop
But
off.
those things landing on his neck, he was like, hey, hey!
Dude, Vecchione, when Vecchione and I lived together, there was
He's
this.
not even near an awning or anything. Like, where did it
They
come
came
from?
out of the sky.
Down the
If
street.
a roach ends up here on you outdoors, like, what did it have you possible?
There's just a guy with an old slingshot sending them.
Watch this.
Another
roach.
When I lived with Vecchione, he went through a bad breakup. This is like 7 years ago. He went through a really bad breakup. We both did at the same time.
Oh, that's my favorite breakup, though.
Yeah.
And we were, dude, it was great. But both of us went through a breakup, and he was really sad. And they demolished a building on our street. So the same thing happens. Roaches go everywhere. And they were crawling through our bathtub. They're like, every night you would have like 5 in the bathtub, and you just have to run the sink. And Anthony, our landlord that never fixed anything in our place, I called him. I'm like, there's a lot of roaches. And he's like, yeah? They small or big? I went, they're really big. And he goes, that's not a problem.
They're just water
He goes,
bugs.
they find a new home. Small ones, that's when you call me. Big ones, don't worry about it.
Don't worry about it. I don't want to live with them. He goes, don't worry about it.
But Vecchione was like,
It's an honor.
Vecchione was, you know how Vecchione like psychs himself out? And he's like, I saw a roach. And I was like, yeah, I think our building got destroyed or whatever. He goes, we see another one. We got to bomb this place. We got to, and I didn't want to bomb our apartment. So there was like 5 in the bathtub one night.
You're hiding from him?
Yeah.
You got to kick him back.
Dude,
Guys, get down the drain.
I had to rinse him down. And then I come out and Vecchione goes, what was going on? I was like,
I'm flash dancing in here.
Took a quick shower.
Took a quick
That's what I
shower.
told him. I go, I had to rinse off.
Yeah.
Why?
My hair was dry.
Yeah.
I was like, I had to rinse off real quick.
No, I just did a body wash. Nothing crazy.
Vecchione has bug issues, though.
Yeah, I mean, he's got
Bed bug-
PTSD.
Yeah, with his bed bugs.
Oh, dude, we had bed bugs too. Dude, New York is so gross for that kind of shit, particularly.
I didn't know until I moved to New York.
The one mouse we had in the East Village place, that was another one where I was going to the bathroom, and I heard like like going outside the bathroom door, and then it popped its head under the door and just looked in there, and I went, whoa, oh! And it wasn't even scared of me then. It was like looks around, I was like, man, not in here, and just
Brr.
He's into our bedroom
It
trash.
makes
That one- it was in our-
him toot one out where you see like. Brr.
it was
It forced one out of me.
in one night we heard
Oh, fuck.
the bag of pretzels on top of our fridge that's like closed.
Yeah.
We heard it like rustling around, and then like you go look in the kitchen and you see a bag doing like this by itself, and you're like,
No.
and you go, okay, well it's in there.
Must be the wind.
So we go over there.
You're giving yourself the house is settling.
No, we knew. I go over there, and like I had like a big bowl, like a big salad bowl or something, like the salad mixing bowl, and I go over and you're trying to do that thing, you go, and I get threw it at it, and it doesn't go anywhere. You see, it goes back by the thing. But I go, well, it's definitely gone for the night now that we've talked about it. Now it does that again. Next time we go out there, it's gone, but now we see it's bore a hole into the pretzels bag. I'm like, it wants those pretzels.
Yeah.
So let me throw the pretzels out in the can with the lid on it. Then we go back to bed, and I'm trying. Christine's able to go back to sleep somehow. I'm sitting up like this. I'm wide awake and not. I go, I can't sleep like this. And then I start hearing things, and I go to Christine. I go, Christine, it's in the room. She's like, what do you mean? I go, it's in the room. I hear it rustling. She goes, I think it's in the garbage in here. And she's like, but that's not a food garbage can. It's just like paper garbage. So I go, I think it's in here. And then we go in there and we look at the trash. You see like, envelopes moving in the trash. I go, get me something big to cover the trash can with. And we know at least in the trash can we'll get it outside. She goes, okay. She comes over with a cutting board that's not big enough for the top thing. But I go, I don't even measure. She was thinking, I just go, turn on the light. She turns on the light. And I go, huh. I drop it down. The mouse runs right past the thing, up the side of the thing, and jumps. It almost like grabs the edge of its like skateboard and looks at me like, that's where I went. I screamed so loud, and then it landed on the ground, and we're like, ah! And it just runs into nuts, and then just goes off again. We never caught that one. We like put stuff up and they never came back.
When you see the ghost movement of mice, we had one in our in Queens in the trash can where I was going piss. So I just went to the bathroom, and as I was walking by the trash can, I like heard it move, and I'm like, trash cans don't move.
Yeah.
And then I came back out, and I was like, this trash can's moving, and I like kicked it. It was one of the big, long. It's like the kitchen one that you step on and throw something in. So I kicked it, and it like moved, and then I heard something, and I was like, ooh. And Vecchio was out of town. I was like, oh no. And I had to go outside and just open it. We were on the first floor on a main street, and I just kicked my trash over. So all this trash just goes on.
You don't think about the repercussions of the
problems.
fuck
at all. And I just dumped it out with a broom, like banged the side of it, and was like, please be gone. And I looked, and there was a hole chewed through the bottom corner of the trash can.
I'm so afraid of that stuff. My house, if Christine was gone for a day and I was like, there was some kind of vermin or something in the house doing that, there's a good chance she can come home and I've lost it, and there's like, you'll see like 800 holes in the wall with pipes, and I go, I'm still looking for it. Yeah. It's in there though. I'm starting to follow these pipes up here. Jay, we can't live like this. I go, no, we'll worry about that later.
Yeah.
Right now we got to get this thing.
It's the mindset of like a serial killer, like someone that kills someone where they just want to go get rid of the bot. Like they don't think of the. It's basically that's
it's a crime of passion.
It's a crime of passion. Same mindset. You just don't do it to people.
Yeah.
But like that's the same feeling.
Like, I gotta
they don't care.
Body.
It's like just get rid of it, throw it away.
When I real estate porn in New York, when I look at the Zillow stuff in New York for apartments and use like outside, I play like outside space, like what kind of outside space? I tell you, I would never. In New York City, if I was going to do outside, it's always going to be elevated, like above. Anytime I see they go outside space and I look, I go, wow, what a back area. But really, it's spatially a good back area, but it's still like walls that like should have graffiti on them. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's that, and I go, all this back area is going to be, the first time I go down there at night, and I'm like, yeah, let's go out back and hang out. And you see like a rat fight happening. You're like, well, this is my backyard. Yeah. I'm like, I don't want this.
Boys, break it up. Break it up.
Hold on, I got company.
Yeah, that's Timmy and Charlie. Guys. Come on. Friends are here.
You've been listening to SiriusXM's Bonfire. New episodes every Tuesday through Friday mornings, and full shows always on SiriusXM.